In Brave New World, the people live in a society where everyone is heavily conditioned from birth, discomfort is eliminated, pleasure, distraction, and stability are prioritized over everything else. No one is encouraged or allowed to think or feel deeply, to struggle, or question anything around them. On the surface, it looks like the perfect world. In Brave New World, the society avoids discomfort at all costs. Society has eliminated sadness, pain, and uncertainty. There is no longer any space for grief, longing, or existential questioning. The people in Brand New World are also constantly distracted with endless amounts of entertainment, access to drugs called soma that make them happy all the time. They can have as much sex as they want, basically any type of distraction at their fingertips, constantly and readily available. The citizens in Brave New World are also not allowed to be by themselves for very long. They're always encouraged to be around others, so there's no time for silence or reflection. I recently finished reading Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. This one's actually pretty cool. It came with some 3D glasses too. I think it's like a special edition Brave New World. And I highly recommend this book. I think everyone should read it in 2026 because it is one of the classic dystopian books. It's one of the most classic dystopian books ever written, alongside George Orwell's 1984. And to be honest, it was probably an easier read than George Orwell's 1984. There was a bit more of a story, a lot more characters. But the reason I'm making this video is because there's a lot of kind of eerily similar stuff to what's going on in our society today. A lot of people say it's more kind of similar to our society, that it was more predicted. Aldous Huxley predicted more what was going to happen than George Orwell in 1984. So there's a few things I really want to discuss with you guys from this book, and highly recommend you read it. I won't delve too much into the plot because I'll let you just enjoy the book, because I know sometimes these reviews, they kind of spoil it by going too in depth. But yeah, I really want to talk about some of the themes in this that can really help us almost give us warnings about where we're heading and what we should avoid in our life, which I've kind of made notes on. So enjoy the video, guys, and I hope you take something away from it. Brave New World was written in 1932, so it's going on to be 100 years old soon. And when I read the book, I couldn't help seeing patterns that I get involved with now and that a lot of people in our society fall into, especially with avoiding discomfort. As soon as I feel discomfort a lot of the time, I'm on my phone, I'm on YouTube, I'm doing any little thing I can do to avoid feeling like crap. And the problem with this is it doesn't allow us to fix anything because we're always just trying to stay high, we're just trying to stay up there. As soon as we don't feel like we're feeling good, we numb ourselves, whether it be with drugs, alcohol, entertainment, sex. We constantly have unlimited access to anything we want to numb ourselves. I mean, even look at Netflix and everything. But the problem with this is we always feel a bit of despair, because what Brave New World teaches us too is that it is so important to have that discomfort and to sit with it, because we can learn a lot from that discomfort. It's our body trying to teach us something. It's how we change our lives, how we better ourselves, how we might start a project because we're not happy with our lives. It's how we might start a YouTube channel. I know even when I wanted to start filming videos, I kept distracting myself because it was uncomfortable. It's hard to get into something that's creative and meaningful because there's lots of discomfort and negativity that you can conjure up in your mind with all these thoughts of it might not work, it might be pointless. It's so important that we feel some level of discomfort, because there's got to be some kind of balance in life. There's always a balance between pleasure and discomfort, and it really made me realize that if we constantly numb ourselves with pleasure and distraction, we're not going to go anywhere. If we keep taking these drugs that distract us, we're not going to improve our lives, and that simply with sitting with the discomfort and that and horrible feelings and questions, it can really, we can grow from it. We're never going to grow if we're constantly distracting ourselves. And reading the book, it really put a rocket up my ass and just made me be aware of my own behaviors and my own shortcomings and how I constantly numb myself. Like even though I think I'm aware that I need to spend less time on my phone, it kind of made me be more aware day to day that I need to get away from it and sit with shit feelings, because that's where we grow from. A lot of people's best ideas and realizations and self-discovery moments come from sitting in discomfort and sitting in silence without distraction, being bored. And what a Brave New World really highlighted for me is how we are getting robbed of these experiences because we have so much opportunity to numb ourselves with Instagram and Netflix and YouTube and you name it, that we're not being bored and we don't have that time to reflect on things anymore, and we kind of just go through life being brain dead zombies because we can just get that hit of drug anytime we want. Anytime we want, we can just pick that up and just get that feeling of dopamine. And it's robbing us of like a superpower that we have deep inside, where your subconscious kind of gives you answers and tries to help you. And that can only be kind of cultivated by sitting in discomfort and boredom or like meditating. But it really scares me for these young kids who kind of haven't been brought up they've been brought up with the phones. They've never known anything else. It's kind of looked down upon to be sad, and yeah, but I mean, we need that level of discomfort and we need boredom. It's what really, really shone out to me in this book, and I highly recommend you read it because it kind of goes into the effects that it has when discomfort is avoided and distraction is everywhere. We feel hollow inside, like something is missing. And the characters really show this in the book. They have this quiet despair where they can't quite put their fingers on why they have this despair, but they all do. The people in Brave New World are also conditioned their whole life. So they, much like us, have advertising from a very young age telling them what to like, what to dislike. One of the big slogans that stuck out to me is "Stitches don't get riches." So they were trying to kind of say to the people that you shouldn't stitch up your clothes, that you should always buy new clothes, the latest clothes, and that if you stitch your clothes, you won't get rich and successful. This was one of the main things that stood out to me too, because it made me think about what am I conditioned to think. And it was kind of a mind-blowing moment, because you start to wonder, are my likes and goals even my own, or is it something that society has programmed me to think? So a lot of the people in this in this world, just they have their goals and aspirations purely based on the programming they've received. For example, a lot of the kids, when they're kids, they get shocked if they go near like a plant or something. So the people in the book don't like nature or anything because they've got this negative association towards plants and nature. The reason they do this is so they're happier working in their concrete factories. That's an extreme example, but it got me thinking about things in my life that I might not particularly deep down want, but I've been conditioned to to desire it, like the latest car or fancy name brands. So this was also a big moment. I'm not someone who's materialistic, but it was interesting to see and kind of be aware of, just to be aware of sometimes your own wants and needs, and really think about it. Is it something I really want, or have I been told that I want it? Have I been brainwashed, in a sense, to want it? And even sometimes I always laugh when you see these new kind of trends coming out. There's this shoe at the moment, which I'll put up on the screen, where I used to have a pair when I was younger, and I used to get bullied because it was such an ugly shoe. And now it's like the hottest thing to be wearing if you have this shoe. And all the cool kids are wearing this shoe. And it's a funny example, because how many of these people actually stop and think, do I actually like the way it looks? Or am I told that if I wear this shoe, I'll fit in and be respected and seen as a trendy, cool person? So I think the main takeaways from this book is just being aware of what information you're getting, aware of what's influencing you. I think we should always have moments where we have time by ourselves. We get away from all these distractions and pleasure-seeking devices that constantly surround us, because they really can do us harm and really rob us of moments of realization and progress, really, because discomfort and quiet moments alone are so beneficial to us. There's something that goes off in the brain. It allows our brain to kind of work in a way that when we are so distracted and constantly numb, we can't access those parts. And especially doing anything good is going to be hard to do. Like starting a YouTube channel or going to the gym, there's going to be some bullshit. It's going to be hard. But when we have these distractions, these constant dopamine hits, it's so easy to just never do it and just be glued to these things. And that was the main takeaway from this book. It's scary as well how we can be controlled by pleasure and not by force. And that was one of the main things that why I would recommend reading this, because a lot of us are now we are not paying attention to politics or what's happening in the world, because it is hard to grapple with, and it's easier just to be numbed by a lot of the things that we have access to. So I hope it wasn't too ranty, this video, but just really wanted to talk about this book and what I learned from it, and I highly recommend you read it. It's quite a short book too, so it wasn't a struggle to read. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. And yeah, I have quite a few concerns for the kids the kids growing up now. I don't know if I'm getting older and becoming that guy, but yeah, I think we're going down a troubling path. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, or if you've read it and if you enjoyed the book. Thanks guys. Bye.